How to double your money in property in 1 year. So recently we've been asked a lot about how to double your money in property in a year. First of all, is it possible?
The short answer is yeah.
Okay, so how do you do it?
So you have to basically work it backwards. If you're looking at buying, it's a little bit harder to do it in a single home than it is through like a development project. But
Yeah.
even through a single home, you can double your money. How that works is, say for example, you buy a property. Say there's a property there that has a value of 100,000. And obviously you buy that, you put in whatever 25,000-30,000 of your own money, then renovation costs of whatever it is, 10 grand or whatever, which means then you're into the deal for 40 odd thousand pounds, and you basically have to take 80,000 out, which means the renovation that you've done should add an additional 40,000 to the value of the property. So by spending 10,000, you should add the value of 50,000.
Yeah.
If that's possible, then you can double your money. Now, so say it could work the other way as well. Whereas if you put in 40,000 and you're taking 15 grand out, but the work takes about 8 weeks to do, then you can reinvest that money into another house, and then do it that way, and you can easily double your money in a year.
Yeah, because renovations in houses don't really take a year.
It depends. Every single project's obviously different, and obviously once you move on a little bit further up and you're doing developments of blocks of apartments and stuff like that, with those it's a little bit easier because you can basically finance the build cost as well, which means your input isn't as high as it should be, and all of a sudden you're doing 10, 12, whatever at the same time. So if you make 20, 35% on each of these, or whatever it is that you make, then at the end it'll all sort of add up, and you can easily double your money as well.
Okay, so let's look at a development block of flats. Let's look at the numbers in terms of that, for example.
Yeah. So typically speaking, say for example, price of the building or whatever that you converting is £1 million.
Yeah.
You're putting in, I don't know, 300,000 to 400,000. So you're putting 400,000. You're building it for another $1 million. That's 2 million. You're selling it for 3 million. That's $1 million in profits gross. But you've only put in 400,000, maybe 5, with all the little expenses that comes with it, and then obviously that's gross. So you take all the stuff out of it, you easily double your money. You easily make 400,000-500,000 out of it. So 50% will be net from what you've made. Yeah, it's quite easy to do. Well, when I say easy, obviously once you build your experience, and you just have to, whatever project you do, whether it's a single house or 20 or 200 units, you have to always work it backwards, find your end values, time it takes to do it, and get all your costs in, and then see if it's worth doing, and see if you can double your money.
Okay, so if you were to give advice on where to start, where would you start? Would you start a house? Would you start by getting a property-related job? How would you go about it?
I mean, well, it always helps if you have knowledge into a sector, obviously, because if you don't, there's a lot of hidden costs, whether you're buying a single house or a block of flats. There's a lot of hidden costs that you only realise as you go further, you know, as you're more experienced and you do more developments. So I'd say obviously being in the property sector obviously helps, because you see all this without obviously spending money. But if you sort of work in another sector and you want to get into it, I'd say probably start with a house, or maybe even what you can do, what a lot of our investors do, is they do sort of joint ventures with us. So they will invest their money, and then obviously learn the ropes, get their returns, and then obviously in the future, if they want to do it on their own, you know, they've got the knowledge, they've got the experience, they've been through the project, we've sort of guided them through, and they can do that. Or, you know, they can start with single houses, do them up. But the main thing is obviously whatever you do, you've got to work it backwards. Find your end value, find how much you have to put in, and, you know, if you have to double your money in a year, make sure you do it. Make sure you allow contingencies and all of that. And yeah.
Okay, so that's how you essentially double your money in a year through property. Now, if you've got any questions, make sure you comment it down below. And if you enjoyed this video, drop us a like. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel for more videos like this in the future. And if you don't already, make sure you head over to our social media channels and give us a follow there. And we'll see you next time.
See you next time.